I once knew a guy who kept his house spotless, floors clean, counters wiped, trash taken out. But there was one problem: he never emptied the vacuum. So every time he cleaned, he was basically just redistributing dirt with confidence. That's today's dungeon. Welcome back to the Mail System series, where we stop forcing outcomes and start fixing what's actually clogged. I'm your host, Barbosa. Still carrying the party, still somehow surprised we're back here again. Today's dungeon is the lymphatic system. Difficulty, hard mode, because this is the system nobody talks about, nobody understands, and almost everyone ignores, right up until everything feels heavy, slow, and unresponsive. If you clear this dungeon, here's the loot you're walking out with. First, you'll understand what the lymphatic system actually does and why it's not optional background scenery. Second, you'll see how waste buildup quietly ruins blood flow, inflammation, and nerve signaling without ever setting off a clear alarm. And third, you'll finally understand why fixing the gut without fixing drainage is like mopping the floor while the sink is still overflowing. Most men think they have an energy problem or a blood flow problem or a hormone problem. Very few realize they're carrying too much internal garbage for the system to function cleanly. That's not a character flaw. That's a plumbing issue. So today we're going underground. We're tracing the cleanup crew, and we're figuring out why so many men feel like they're doing everything right, but still can't get momentum. Dungeon's open. Let's clear it. Most guys hear lymphatic system and immediately stop listening. It sounds fake important, like something that only comes up in hospitals or pamphlets, but it's simple. Blood drops things off. The lymphatic system cleans up what's left behind. That's it. Every day your body produces waste, used cells, inflammatory leftovers, stuff that already did its job and now needs to go. If that cleanup happens on time, you never think about it. If it doesn't, everything starts feeling heavier than it should. Not dramatic, just annoying. Here's the part nobody tells you. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, no heart, no motor, nothing pushing it along. It only moves when you move, when muscles contract, when pressure changes, when you actually use your body. So if you're stressed, inflamed, sitting a lot, or internally overloaded, this system slows down. And when it slows down, nothing breaks. You just feel off. Like your body is dragging itself through the day, like everything takes more effort than it used to. That's not age, that's cleanup falling behind. Here's where this starts messing with performance. When waste hangs around, inflammation stays elevated. Inflammation changes how tissues behave. They get stiff, they get less responsive, they don't react quickly. So when your body needs a fast, strong response, it has to work harder to get there. Sometimes it manages, sometimes it doesn't. That's inconsistency. Not randomness, not nerves, not one of those days, just resistance. Blood and lymph sit right next to each other. When lymphatic waste builds up, blood has a harder time doing its job. Pressure becomes harder to regulate. Tissues don't cooperate. So when the body looks at the situation and says, yeah, conditions aren't great, it pulls back. Not because it's broken, because it's smart. And this is why forcing results never works long term. You can override pressure for a moment. You can't force responsiveness in a congested system. Nothing clears waste faster just because you want it to. So if you fix digestion but ignore cleanup, you solved half the problem. You improved what comes in, you didn't improve what gets taken out. And that's the dungeon we're clearing here. Next, we'll tie this directly into nerves and hormones and show how congestion quietly scrambles signals long before anything obvious shows up. Because once you see how these systems talk to each other, a lot of confusing symptoms stop feeling mysterious. This is where things start getting misunderstood. Most guys think nerves are just wires like electricity, on or off. They're not. Nerves are messengers. They're sensitive. They react to pressure, inflammation, and environment. And they do not like being surrounded by waste. When lymphatic cleanup slows down, waste and fluids start hanging around tissues longer than they should. That puts pressure on nerves. Not enough to cause sharp pain, just enough to dull the signal. So messages take longer to send, responses come back weaker, timing gets sloppy. This is why things feel delayed, reaction time drops, sensitivity drops, the connection feels less immediate. And this isn't just about performance. It shows up as brain fog, slow recovery, poor coordination. Your nervous system isn't failing, it's operating in a noisy environment. Think of it like trying to have a conversation in a room that's slowly filling with static. The message still gets through. It's just not clean. And when the body senses that communication isn't reliable, it doesn't push harder. It pulls back. Again, not broken, protective. Now let's talk about stress, because stress and lymphatic congestion are a perfect storm. Stress tightens muscles. Stress shortens breathing. Stress keeps the body locked in hold mode. And remember, the lymphatic system only moves when you move. So when stress keeps your body tense and shallow, cleanup slows even more. Waste builds faster. Pressure increases. Signals get messier. Then stress hormones stay elevated. And when stress hormones stay high, your body shifts priorities. It stops focusing on performance. It focuses on survival. Digestion slows. Recovery slows. Reproductive signals get pushed to the back of the line, not because your body hates you, because it's trying to manage resources. This is why just relax never works. You can't relax your way out of a system-level problem. If cleanup is backed up and stress keeps tightening the lid, everything downstream stays compromised. This is also why guys say things like, hey, I'm doing everything right, but nothing's clicking. They're not wrong. They're just missing a system. And that's why this dungeon matters. Because until lymphatic cleanup improves, nerves stay irritated, stress stays elevated, and performance stays inconsistent. In the next section, we'll connect this directly to hormones and show how congestion and stress quietly interfere with signaling without ever tripping a clear warning light. That's where most men get lost, and that's where we're going next. This is where hormones usually get blamed for everything. Low drive must be hormones. Low energy, hormones. Inconsistent performance, definitely hormones. But hormones don't operate in isolation. They're messengers. They don't force anything. They signal, and signals only work if the environment is clean. When lymphatic cleanup slows down, waste and inflammation hang around tissues longer than they should. That changes how hormone receptors respond. Not dramatically, subtly, messages still get sent, they just don't land as cleanly. So the body needs more signal to get the same response it used to get with less. That's when guys start feeling flat, drive drops, motivation fades, things feel muted, not gone, just dulled. This is why chasing hormones alone rarely fixes the issue. You can raise the signal all you want. If the receiving end is irritated and congested, the message still won't land properly. Well, it's not that hormones aren't present, it's that the system isn't receptive. And lymphatic congestion is a big reason why. This is where most solutions go wrong. They try to force a response in a system that's already under pressure. Push harder, stimulate more, override the feedback, and yeah, sometimes that works for a moment. But forcing a system that's congested just adds more stress to the environment. Inflammation stays high, cleanup stays slow, signals stay messy. So the body learns something important. It learns that when it responds, conditions aren't safe or efficient. And the next time it pulls back even more. That's not punishment, that's adaptation. This is why short-term fixes fade. You didn't restore function, you borrowed it. And borrowed function always comes due. Real improvement doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from reducing resistance, clear waste, lower inflammation, improve responsiveness. Once the environment improves, the system doesn't need to be forced. It starts responding on its own. And that's the difference between temporary results and actual recovery. Next, we'll wrap this dungeon by tying everything together, gut, lymph, nerves, hormones, and show how these systems either support each other or quietly sabotage the whole operation. That's where the map finally makes sense. At this point, the pattern should be pretty clear. Nothing we talked about lives on its own. The gut sets the quality of what comes in. The lymphatic system decides whether waste actually leaves. Nerves depend on a clean environment to communicate properly. Hormones depend on that communication landing where it's supposed to. If one of those systems is dragging, the others start compensating. And compensation feels like effort. You're still functioning deep, but everything takes more work than it should. This is why guys get stuck. They fix one thing and expect everything else to magically fall in line, but systems don't work that way. You don't clear waste once and call it done. You don't improve digestion and ignore drainage. You don't talk about hormones without asking whether the signals can even land. This dungeon matters because lymphatic cleanup is the connector. It's the difference between I'm doing all the right things and things are finally responding again. And once cleanup improves, everything else gets easier to regulate. Not instantly, not dramatically, but consistently, which is what most men actually want. Right, dungeon cleared, no boss fight today. This was a hard mode setup level, and you didn't just survive it, you actually walked out with rewards. First achievement unlocked. You now understand the lymphatic system isn't extra credit biology. It's the cleanup crew that decides whether everything else even gets a chance to work smoothly. Second achievement unlocked. You can now recognize that stiffness, sluggishness, and inconsistency aren't random. They're signs of waste hanging around where it shouldn't be. Third achievement unlocked. You stopped blaming effort, willpower, or bad days for problems that are really caused by congestion and pressure. That alone puts you ahead of most people. Now for the loot drops. Loot drop number 1, movement counts, even the boring kind. The lymphatic system only moves when you move. Walking helps. Light bouncing helps. Stretching helps. You don't need intensity, you need frequency. Long periods of sitting tell your body to pause cleanup. That's not lifestyle advice. That's mechanical reality. Loot drop number 2. Breathing is a pressure tool. Deep breathing isn't about calming down. It's about internal pressure changes. Full breaths gently squeeze and release tissues. That motion helps move lymph. Shallow stress breathing does the opposite. If your breathing stays tight, cleanup stays slow. Loot drop number 3. Reduce the mess before asking for results. Your body can clear waste. It just can't clear everything while you keep adding more. Constant junk food, alcohol, stress, and inflammation mean the cleanup crew never catches up. You don't need perfection. You need fewer problems happening at the same time. Loot drop number 4. Water is basic, wamnetic, and non-negotiable. Lymph is fluid. Thick fluid moves poorly. Thinner fluid moves easier. If you're dehydrated, cleanup slows first. This isn't motivation. This is plumbing. Loot drop number 5. Fix cleanup before you force performance. If things feel stiff, slow, or inconsistent, don't immediately push harder. Help clean up first. When waste clears, tissues respond better, nerves communicate cleaner, and hormone signals land where they're supposed to. Results stop needing to be forced. Team survived. I took the carry this round. You did the thinking. You keep the XP. That's a clean run with solid loot. Go sit with what you picked up. I'm gonna pretend I didn't just explain internal cleanup for half an episode and go combine some herbs in a way I'm pretty sure the game developers did not intend. If one of those loot drops made you rethink something, drop a comment. I want to see what patterns show up. Next dungeon, we head to the control center where signals get approved, delayed, or shut down entirely. Different mechanics, higher difficulty. See you in the next dungeon.